Welcome to Katy Calls BS, the podcast where we cut through the noise in course creation, digital products, and business strategy. I'm Katy Miller, bringing you blunt advice, real action steps, and the occasional F-bomb because building a business is hard and the BS isn't helping. Let's get into it. Welcome back to another episode of Katy Calls BS. This week we are going to talk about the No BS Audit, what you can do to get ready for 2026. Like I said last week, we're going in slowly, without any big expectations. You might not be ready for this episode this week, and that's totally fair. Or you might be ready for it before your kids get out of school. If they get out of school this week, I promise it won't take a ton of time to get yourself set up for the new year. Most people set goals in January going into the new year, like new year, new me. I don't do that. I'm not a big fan of setting huge, big resolutions. I do it a little differently. I create bingo cards for my personal life and for my business. I think goals are amazing. We have to have goals. We have to have something to strive for. You will hear a million and one different ways, different perspectives about setting them. Honestly, the psychology of goal setting, missing your goals, everything that goes along with them could be an entire episode, probably a whole podcast. It's a big topic. So I'm not going to dive into too much of that on this episode. As you think about 2025 and look forward to 2026, it's smart to audit your business first. We are really quick to think about milestones for business, random money milestones, without backing it up to offers or clients. That's where the audit will help. Let's dive into this No BS audit, because you know that's what we're all about here. There are 4 things to audit in business before the year ends: your offers, your messaging, your systems, and time boundaries. Starting with your offers. Think about which ones actually made money. I know you might have some offers that happened this year that weren't so great, didn't actually make you any money. You might love them, but did they bring in any money? Think about which ones did. Which ones drained you? Did you have offers that maybe did make you some money, maybe not as much, but did they drain you? Did you actually enjoy them? Did you enjoy that coaching retainer? Was it something that every time you got a client in that one, were you dreading it? Maybe don't offer that next year. It's okay to take it off. It's okay to raise the price of that if you want to keep it. Which ones confused your audience? If you added something and your audience was like, whoa, where did that come from? That was out of left field. Why did you start offering it? But it was something you wanted to start bringing into your business? That's okay. Maybe figure out how we can streamline that a little bit better in the new year. Did you launch something this year that maybe completely flopped? It's okay if that happened too. It happens in business. That's how we learn and grow. If it flopped, look at why it did. If you haven't had time to figure out why, now is the time to figure out why, so you can adjust and learn for the new year. Are there freebies that you still have hanging out on your website that aren't getting traction anymore? Or maybe you just need to kind of let them go. Have they been there for a while and you let them hang out because you haven't had time to update it? Now's the time to do that. Now's the time to look at what might need to get cleaned out, or you might need to send a message to your favorite VA or your favorite person, whoever is helping you do that, or you, if it's you, to get that freebie off your website and do some cleanup in January. Because maybe you're not doing it right now because the holidays are crazy. The next is going to be your messaging. What did people repeat back to you? This is what clients say to you on discovery calls. The feedback you get in conversations, DMs. Is it what you want people to be saying to you from your messaging on social media and your marketing and your emails? What are things that never landed? Maybe we need to adjust the words that you're saying. Maybe you need to adjust how you're saying it. It doesn't mean that it didn't work. It just means you need to adjust a little bit. You don't need to scrap everything because it didn't work. It's an adjustment, and that's okay. We do that in business all the time. It's an adjustment. You don't need to say, oh, well, forget about it. It didn't work. You just need to pivot a little bit. When you make a mistake in anything, it doesn't mean you start from scratch. You figure out what worked, what didn't work, and correct it. You don't scrap the piece altogether. What needs sharper language? Are you saying everything you want to say, or are you still holding back because you don't want to piss somebody off? We tend to do this a lot because we don't want to turn off potential business. We don't want to make people mad. We're worried about saying something, especially in the political climate. I talked about this in a previous episode when I talked about politics and business. Maybe those aren't your clients. Maybe you need to take a stronger standpoint. Maybe you've had clients that you've worked with them because you're like, I guess I need to take on this client, but it's not your favorite person to work with. It's okay if people aren't for you. It's okay if you are too much for somebody. You're not too much in general. You might just be too much for that person. Well, let's talk about systems. What are the systems in your business that saved you time this year? Those are the ones you're keeping. What broke? What are you spending too much time fixing when it should have been saving you time? All of the systems that you have in your business should be saving you time. That's why you have the systems. They should be efficient. If you have systems in your business that you are spending time fixing, they're not working for you. You need to figure out what you've outgrown. And again, what is working and what is not working, and adjust. And finally, one of my personal favorites, time boundaries. Where did you stretch your calendar a little too much? Maybe you took a call a little later than you like to take a call. Maybe you spent a little too much time with a client when you probably shouldn't have. Maybe you went over your time with a client. Maybe you added a little extra time with them, but you didn't charge them. Where did you overcommit? Did you spend too much time at networking when you probably could have been working? Maybe you added a little extra time doing a project and you didn't charge for it. Where did you overcommit? Where do you want a tighter structure? I see this a lot with my clients, and I saw this a lot with myself in early days of my business. A tighter time schedule and a tighter structure of your days. Sometimes people will do all over the place schedule. So they'll have random calls and random times throughout random moments because it works better for their clients, but it doesn't work for them. So they don't have these time blocks of work. They can't figure out why they don't have these consistent chunks of time to work when they need 2 to 3 or 4 hour block to work. It's because you're not setting it up. You get to set your schedule. If your schedule's all over the place and you want more consistency in your schedule, guess what? You get to set that. If you want that and you didn't have that this year, you need to make sure you're setting that up for yourself in the new year. The next thing to audit is your personal life. This one's a little trickier because I think we have a harder time with our auditing our personal life. I tend not to have a hard time with this one, but people have hard times auditing their personal lives. But what were the energy drainers? This could be people, this could be habits, this could be routines. What are the energy drainers in your life? Are there things that you notice are sucking your energy out when you want to have more energy for whatever it is, the things that fuel you? Where are the self-care gaps? Self-care is a lot more than going to get your nails done or going to, read a book. It's a lot more than that. It's not spa days. The self-care gaps are getting enough sleep, exercising, having downtime. You did not start a business to work yourself to the bare bones and lose your mind. We did not start a business to be miserable. If you found yourself feeling like you were running ragged this year, you need to make sure that you are not doing that in the new year. If you are not getting enough sleep, if you are not making time for exercise, if you are not making sure that you have downtime, you need to make sure that that is scheduled in the new year. What about your emotional bandwidth? This is your time for relationships and boundaries. Remember the reason that you started your business. Your business is not supposed to take over your life, just like your work, if you're in corporate, is not supposed to take over your life. You need to have a work-life balance. And to do that, to have emotional bandwidth for everything, and to be able to balance your relationships, to be able to do the things other than work, having to rule your life, having time for relationships and being able to have those stronger boundaries, you need to be able to have that emotional bandwidth for everything. Did you have that this year? Or do you need to do better in the new year? Finally, your joy and satisfaction. I know that most of us started businesses based on things that we truly enjoy and love doing. Our job and our businesses bring us joy, but you need to find something outside of that. And you need to find things outside of work and family, not self-care, but a habit that lights you up. Something completely different. This could be reading a book. This could be going for a walk with friends, things that are outside of all the other stuff. What is it for you that brings you joy and satisfaction? A habit that lights you up. The next step is to look at what you need to let go of. After you've audited your year, take a look at the products that feel heavy and don't sell within your business, the ones that you aren't excited about anymore. The marketing tactics you feel forced to do because someone online said you should. We should have given that up a long time ago. If it doesn't feel like you, it isn't on brand for you, don't do it. It is not for you. You get to do this how you want to do it. Sure, there are trends on social media. There are ways that you can do social media marketing. That's one form of marketing. There are things you can do on social media, but not every trend is for you. The social media strategy doesn't change. It's the trends that change. If there's a trend that you don't want to do, don't do it. The strategy, though, that's something you can figure out that works for you. Let go of the clients who might be paying, but they take up your time and energy. If you were exhausted by a certain kind of client this year, those are not the people that you need to seek out in the future. If you were exhausted by certain networking groups this year, those are not those networking groups you need to go to in the future. Look at the expensive tools in your business that don't meet the needs of your business anymore. How much do you really need it? Can you replace it with something else in your business? Look at the personal obligations that aren't serving you. If you are called to do something else in your personal life that is important to you, go do that. But if you dread going to these personal obligations, whether it's a meeting, a group, an organization, whatever it may be, then by all means, continue doing that. But if there are personal obligations that aren't serving you, don't do them anymore. Find a way out and look at the toxic habits or commitments that zap your energy. Be realistic about this one. We're not making huge declarations like, I'm going to run every day if you hate running. This is where those New Year's resolutions where you declare on January 1st, you're going to start working out if you have not left the couch in 2 years. Okay, that's not that. I enjoy running and I run regularly. I'm not going to say that I want to run a marathon because that's not my goal. Start small. Start with something that's realistic. Set a goal for yourself that if you want to start exercising or it's something you want to get back into, or if you want to stop drinking, whatever it may be, that is something realistic for you. If you want to start cooking more because you miss cooking and that's something you really enjoyed, but somehow it's gotten away, start bringing it back once a week or twice a week. Don't say you're going to start cooking 7 days a week. That's unrealistic. Start with something realistic. You cannot go from 0 to 60. You cannot do that. Here's what you need to double down on. You need to double down on the offer that sells without effort. You need simple content that's going to bring in steady leads. The platform that feels easy for you to manage. So stick with the platforms where you log in and it is bing, bang, boom. It is so easy for you to go in there and do what you have to do. It's not like you log in and you're like, where is that? How do I find this? I don't remember. This is so frustrating. I hate coming into this platform so you never log in. Not that one. The one that feels easy to manage. The audience segment that converts quickly. We want those people. We want to stick to those people. We can bring in others later in the year, but we're going to stick to those people right now. Stick to the relationships and double down on the relationships and routines that recharge you. You need those people in your corner all the time. And you need to double down on personal habits that keep your energy high, whatever those are for you. I can't tell you what those are. For me, the personal habits that keep my energy high are walking with my friends on the days that I can walk with friends, running on my treadmill, making sure that I am hanging out with my kids on the days that I have my kids, drinking water. I cook when my kids are here. I try to cook when they're not here. Having time with my friends, talking to the friends that are not close, that don't live here anymore. Those are the personal habits that I can have. Sleeping, reading, whatever personal habits that keep your energy high and so that you can take care of yourself and do the things that you need to do. The routines that you can have. Now, here's your simple framework to prep for January. The things that stay are anything aligned with your goals and values. I can't tell you what that is. Only you can figure that out. The things that go are anything you keep out of guilt or pressure. Nobody gets to guilt you or pressure you into what is staying, okay? So you decide what goes. Nobody else. The things that are going to get redesigned are offers, systems, and routines that could be smoother. Maybe they didn't go so hot and maybe you had to put a Band-Aid on them a lot this year. Fix those. The things that are going to get automated, the repetitive tasks, the lead gen, delivery steps that you shouldn't be doing manually. Can we not do those manually anymore? We're making life easier. because boy, oh boy, do we need to. Any household chores that drain mental energy, start handing those out. You don't need to do it all. January is a slow month. It's a good time to prep before launching anything in February. Do not launch anything in January. People are tapped out from the holidays. They need to recover financially before they invest again in February. You can start ramping things up for sure. You can start advertising. You can start talking about it in your email list. But financially, people need to recover a little bit. Now, of course, I always have things to help you out with this. If you want to tighten your offers and confirm that each piece still makes sense, I have the No BS course creation checklist. If you want to get on a strategy call, we always have that. There's always things I can help you with. Starting with an audit gives you that clean reset, and it's not this overwhelming goals list. I know you have goals and ambitions. We're business owners. We're entrepreneurs. I'm here to support your goals too, always. But you need to start with the foundation first. You can't get to that goal until you know what's working in your business. So audit the year. The reason so many of these New Year's goals fail is because we want them to happen now. They take time. And you know they have to be a SMART goal. We've heard that 1,000,000,001 times. If you say you want to scale your business, but you don't have a plan, it's not a great goal. You have big dreams. You started a business. If you want to add automatic income into your business without taking away from your day-to-day business operations, I've got you. Throwing out numbers like I want to hit 10K months is not a great goal. Why? You need to know what's working in your business first. Audit things. Figure out what is working and what is not working. Then you can set the goals. Write them down. Create a bingo card. Do it however you want to do it. I don't care how you do it. Set yourself up for success now so you can move into 2026. Have a great day. If today's episode hit home, share it with a friend and hit follow so you never miss the next one. Until then, keep calling out the BS and building your business your way.